trick that I'm trying to use is I want to reinforce the concrete footing pad, but I didn't want to get super extravagant with it. But everything I read said that, you know, if you put in some rebar into the concrete, it strengthens it quite a bit. And again, we're just trying to build a footing that's stronger than, you know, a stack of rocks. So I think anything we do is better than nothing. But what I figured out was you can buy, you know, three pieces of 2-foot rebar, and just a couple of strands of about a foot of wire. And what I'm doing is I've kind of got almost a template on the back of the pickup here, because the cinder block is going to be, you know, it's a 16-inch cinder block, and so the center of the two holes in the cinder block are going to be 8 inches apart. So what I'd like to have is the rebar, the steel coming up through the middle of the cinder block, which will infinitely strengthen the footing. So what I want to do is just have something to hold that into place. And so what I built here, what I'm building is sort of a little, like I said, a little template where I just take the wire about 1 inch from the bottom of the piece of rebar here, and just kind of twist the wire around it to keep it straight, and then bend it around a couple of times to attach it to that piece. And then you can add, you know, about 8 inches in, add this piece, and just wrap it across here a couple of times, and then zigzag over to this side a couple of times, and voila, you've got a rebar form here. So again, if we line this up, this should be right at about 8 inches. So we do the same thing over here. Take the galvanized wire, and just twist it around a couple of times. It doesn't have to be perfect. Then again, roughly where at 1 inch off, just kind of zigzag this around a couple of times. Voila, now you have a rebar infrastructure that you can stick in the concrete, and the footing will be the concrete footing here, and then we'll just stack the cinder blocks on top of this and then fill those up with concrete, and you've got a pretty good form. Okay, so we've dug all 4 footings in the corner to a depth of about 24 inches, and what I've done is rigged up my little rebar setup to hang from this stake, and that way it's positioned in the hole the right way. And as you can see, you've got the bottom bar on the bottom 2-foot section of rebar horizontal, and then and it's attached to the 2 vertical stakes, rebar stakes, that are sticking up, that are designed to go straight through the middle of the holes of each side of the cinder block. So we'll just stack cinder blocks on top of those 2 rebar stakes. So what I've got to do now is fill up the hole with a couple of bags of concrete, and as an ode to my Uncle John, who was the first one who taught me a little bit about concrete when we poured grandmother's concrete patio. He was a big believer in having steel reinforced concrete, so that's why I'm using the rebar. And then he was also a big fan of putting down some plastic at the bottom of the the mold or the hole to keep the moisture content of the concrete intact. So not a big fan. I try not to use any plastic on this cabin, but in this particular instance, in honor of Uncle John, I went ahead and put a little plastic bag down there to try and hold the moisture into the concrete for a little while it sets. So now we've emptied a 80-pound bag of concrete in the bucket there, and now I got to walk down to the pond down there and get about a gallon of water and mix that in with the bag of concrete. And we may need to use 2 bags, but we'll see how we do. Okay, we're at the end of basically day 5, I guess. I spent most of, all of today and a little bit of yesterday doing measuring out the footings and setting the footings. So we've got all 4 footings over there, and all the corner footings are poured. This one's already setting up pretty good. So this is one of those times where you're like, man, I really hope I measured right. So once it's in steel and concrete, it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, I think we're looking pretty good. It was a super hot day. I'm exhausted, and I got to go over and start working on the cabin again tomorrow. So we'll see you then.